Welcome to October. Hello, my pagan and witchy friends. We have a lot going on this month: pagan holidays and feast days, kinship with spirit animals and magical plants. We focus on making connections with our ancestors and the spirit realm. As the natural world prepares for winter, this is a powerful time for letting go of what no longer serves. Rituals may focus on personal transformation, shedding old habits, or releasing negativity. This month is ideal for doing self healing, protection, and cooperation work. Banish negativity and remove anything toxic from your life. The Celtic month of Ivy runs from September 30th to October 27th. Ivy leaves work well in home protection spells. Ivy is often considered an aggressive plant that destroys its hosts. It can kill the tree it climbs and destroys the facade of brick buildings. For that reason, you may hear it called a parasitic plant, but it's a strong plant that continues to live even after its host has died. Enjoy the month of Ivy by being strong and resilient. The Thyrsus, an ivy wreath, was worn by the Roman god Bacchus and his female priests, representing fertility and prosperity. Bacchus was a god of harvests and most celebrated in October. He was quite the party boy. Honor black dogs on October 1st. Several deities at Black Dog Companions. I just made a video on Hecate that you can check out. Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome back, and a big howdy if it's your first time joining in. I talk about paganism and witchcraft and how to incorporate it into your daily life. Please hit that like button and help me grow. The three headed dog, Cerberus, is the guardian of the gates of Hades, the underworld. Cerberus's job is to prevent the dead from leaving the underworld and to keep the living from entering. Ceres was a Roman goddess of agriculture, grain, and crops. She is credited with the discovery of spelt wheat and makes plants and seeds grow. She is the counterpart of the Greek god Demeter. In addition, Ceres watches over the boundaries between the realms of the living and the realm of the dead. She is often invoked at funerals. Instead of a feast day, Ceres has a fast day held on October 4th to honor her. Traditionally, it was 1 day of fasting and 9 days of prayer. This is a time for reflection and thankfulness. Take a walk outside and offer your thanks up. This may be weird, but oh well. My car radio has not worked for several years, and I've made a habit of listing things I'm thankful for when I'm driving. Maat is both the goddess and the personification of truth, cosmic balance, and justice. Her ostrich feather represents truth. She typically appears holding an ankh as well, the symbol of eternal life. She is also one of our oldest ancestors, dating back to 2375 BCE and written about in the pyramid text. She is married to Thoth, god of wisdom, and his feast day is October 23rd. Maat either holds or wears an ostrich feather. Ostriches are incredibly fierce and considered one of the world's most dangerous birds. Ostriches represent balance, adaptability, equality, and justice. People with this spirit animal tend to be confident, proud, and eccentric. After death, the weighing of the heart ceremony weighs the deceased's heart against the feather of Maat. This was a test of whether they had lived in accordance with proper morals. Ma'at was typically celebrated with offerings of food, wine, and fragrant incense. Musk and rose are her favorite scents. Celebrate by having a feast for her. Decorate your table with white candles, jade, and turquoise, crystals, and feathers. She will understand if you don't have an ostrich feather, Any feather will do. Duck and geese feathers are often easy to find. October 8th is the day of salmon. According to Celtic legend, the salmon was a fish of great power and prestige. They are associated with wisdom. In Norse mythology, the mischievous Loki transformed himself into a sleek and agile salmon in a desperate attempt to escape the wrath of the gods. In a moment of good fortune, the mighty Thor caught the slippery fish, creating the distinct taper at the end of the salmon's tail. This serves to remind us of the enduring power and significance of the salmon as a symbol of transformation as well as wisdom. The, for the First Nations tribes of the Northwest, the salmon is revered and symbolizes resilience, selflessness, rejuvenation, and abundance. Much like the buffalo, the salmon is regarded as a willing and selfless provider. A tribal story tells that when the Creator was preparing to bring forth people onto the earth, he called a grand council of all the animals and plants. He asked each for a gift for these new creatures, a gift to help the new humans survive, since they would be quite helpless and require much assistance. The very first to come forward was Salmon, who offered his body to feed the people. If you are a bear or a human who appreciates salmon, have a feast today, but remember to thank him. October 11th is Coming Out Day. There are many witches still in the broom closet, meaning they are not comfortable sharing their practice with others for fear of being ostracized or having family conflicts. This is understandable. Today, support friends who are in the closet for their spiritual practices or sexual orientation. We support the unique person you are. You can celebrate your energy whether you are in the closet or out. October 14th is Indigenous Peoples Day. We celebrate the diversity of cultures around the world. Today is a great day to dress in traditional clothing, sing and dance, and rejoice. October 15th is Mushroom Day. Some mushrooms simply taste delicious, while others have mind altering effects that have made them part of spiritual rituals. For the ancient Egyptians, mushrooms were the food of the gods. They believed that eating them could help them live longer or even make them immortal. The Maya and Aztecs also consumed hallucinogenic mushrooms. Montezuma II, the last ruler of the Aztecs, is said to have eaten copious amounts of teonancatl, a psychedelic mushroom, at his coronation ceremony. Fairy rings are thought to be created by dancing fairies, elves, or other mystical creatures. Stepping into a fairy ring is said to transport a person to another realm or cause misfortune. It is sometimes considered dangerous to disturb them. Fairy rings are created by the growth of subterranean fungal mycelium. The mycelium grows outward, away from the central point, and the mushrooms come up in a circle. Fly agaric mushroom are adorable psychedelic mushrooms that grow in evergreen forests and have become endemic in modern media. Think Disney or Super Mario, and the Smurfs all had them within their movies or games. They appear in late fall and often grow beneath fir and spruce trees. When eaten, they produce a rosy glow on the cheeks, which may be linked to the vision in the poem by Clement Clark Moore. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. Fly agaric mushrooms have a long history of being used by shamans. They are identified as poisonous, yet can be ingested after cooking for their hallucinogenic properties. Many shamans ate it as parts of their rituals. It has been traced to Siberian nomadic peoples and Native Americans. The experience is explained as a flight of the soul, which has related several of the gods with the fly agaric. Sorry. These tend to differ from geographical regions. Don't consume without proper identification and guidance from a professional mushroom collector. The Vikings were feared warriors, but the most notorious among them were the berserkers, who became bloodthirsty in battle. It was believed that eating fly agaric mushrooms put the men in this state, although there are writings suggesting another psychoactive mushroom called Liberty Cap was consumed. Foraging for mushrooms is great fun. I love to. These are morel mushrooms, one of my favorites, but they are a springtime mushroom. Archeo, Celtic bear goddess. Her feast day is October 21st. Make a fresh fruit salad to honor her and thank her for her blessings. Say, Archeo sees my needs and bless. Well, I'm sorry. Archeo, see my needs and bless. Bring to me fruitfulness. Is the goddess of wildlife, transformation, and abundance. She is often shown with baskets of food surrounded by wildlife. She can become a bear and was referred to as the she bear. Bears are associated with shapeshifting and transformation across many cultures. It's probable when the Romans invaded Celtic lands, they merged Archeo with Diana and Artemis. One of the reasons I love Archeo is that she is so easy to connect with. Archeo wants us to embrace nature and protect wildlife. As a wildlife rehabilitator, I often ask for her blessing when I work to heal broken animals or rehydrate orphans. One way you can honor her is to donate to a wildlife rehabilitation center near you. We celebrate the wolf from October 20th to the 26th. Odin, the Allfather in Norse mythology, has a deep connection with animals, especially wolves and ravens. Odin is associated with two wolves, Jerry and Freki. These wolves represent Odin's connection to the wild, untamed nature of the world. The wolf is a very powerful spirit animal and is represented in pagan cultures around the world. The wolf represents awareness, family, intelligence, and loyalty. They are a symbol of the wild spirit. Get outside and experience nature. As a guardian, the wolf will protect you as it teaches you. Lean into that. The werewolf is widespread in folklore where it exists in many shapes. A werewolf is essentially a human with the ability to shapeshift into a wolf or a hybrid wolf like creature. They may shift purposefully or be affected by a curse. The transformations usually occur on the night of the full moon. During the Middle Ages, trials for werewolves were parallel to those of witches. Mokash, the Slavic goddess of fertility, moisture, and the earth, is one of the most ancient and revered deities in Slavic paganism. As the protector of women and associated with spinning and weaving, she holds a significant role in the spiritual lives of Slavic people. Mokash is celebrated during the harvest festival. During the late autumn harvest, prayers and thanks are offered to her for the fertility of the land and the abundance of crops. Rituals during this time ask for her continued protection through the winter months. She watches over women as they work, spinning and weaving wool, shearing the sheep, and knitting clothes. Women may honor Mokash through spinning or weaving because these fiber arts are seen as a direct way of connecting with her. Her sacred day is Friday. Since Mokash is a goddess of the earth, devotees often engage in gardening, planting, or tending to the land in her honor. These acts are viewed as sacred work that acknowledges her role in maintaining balance and fertility in the natural world. Has a son named Yarilo, and he became the god of fertility, springtime, and vegetation. Pomona was a popular minor Roman goddess, often known as the goddess of apples. Pomona cares for and watches over fruit orchards. In the Non Valley of Italy, they will be celebrating Pomaria on October 12th and 13th. Her feast day is August 13th, but offerings to her include the fruits of the season. We also honor her during Samhain. Apples are some of the oldest used fruits in magic on the planet. They are called upon in rituals to improve abundance, finances, happiness, health, and power. Apples are also representative in love spells. Place 7 apple seeds in a bag with orris root to attract sexual love. Bobbing for apples is something we do for fun now, but the origin dates back to Pomona. It started as a divination technique, as a courting ritual and race. Names would be marked onto apples, and each suitor had 3 chances to grab the apple of their intended. Wands made of apple wood are known to be powerful for protection and enchantment spells. Ruins made of apple wood are also described to desirable. Sorry about that. Ruins made of apple wood are also desirable to see when you may be in danger. A good flower for protection, chrysanthemums are often used when communicating with the dead. With their bright fall colors, they are also associated with fire. Bats have a reputation of being these evil creatures of the night. We know that's not true. Bats are valuable allies, providing natural pest control for gardeners. By creating a bat-friendly habitat, you can encourage these nocturnal creatures to make your backyard their home. I have a video on my environmental channel that I will link to if you want to learn more about making your yard bat-friendly. Vampires have existed for thousands of years, sometimes seen as malevolent ghosts seeking revenge or as demons. They have evolved into creatures that drank blood. Early vampires were animals and then were seen as humans. Vampires, along with witches and werewolves, were hunted down in the Middle Ages. October is a time for honoring our ancestors, as the veil between the worlds is believed to be at its thinnest. Many pagans set up ancestor altars, hold rituals for the dead, and engage in divination. During the late autumn or early winter, we celebrate Alfablot. The term bloat refers to a Norse sacrificial feast or offering. The offering during the Alfablot included food, drink, and meat, all intended to strengthen ties with the spirits and ancestors. The Alfablot is a household or family focused ritual. The primary purpose of it was to honor the elves and ancestors, ensuring their protection and blessings through the coming winter. In Norse beliefs, elves were seen as very powerful beings associated with fertility, the land, and the afterlife, sometimes linked to our ancestors or spirits of the dead. We end the month with Samhain. Samhain is often the most awaited holiday for witches and pagans, a sacred time for divination and the gathering of communities. During Samhain, we can communicate with the dead. I have a book on celebrating Samhain as a family with lots of different activities you can do. Samhain is very ancient and was celebrated 2,500 years before the Celts invaded Ireland. The ancient people who inhabited these lands celebrated the harvest, brought their animals in from the summer fields as the dark days approached. It is often described as a world that lies alongside our own. During Samhain, the veil that separates the other world from the human world grows thin. This is the time of spiritual connections. Have a dumb supper. This is a great way to involve family or friends in the pagan community. The purpose of the dumb supper is to invite our ancestors into our homes for a meal. We share a quiet, reflective meal with them. The quiet is important because it allows us to listen and have communication on their level. I have a video on having a dumb supper. I have lots of video ideas for this month. One of my favorites. I just love October. I hope this video has given you lots of ideas and things to think about. Check out my community tab and leave your ideas for topics you want to learn more about. Thanks for watching and have a very witchy day.